In this video, I will show you how to configure and use the Market Radar app. That is an application for Microsoft Business Central that will help you validate and maintain customer and vendor master data by doing lookups in the EU VIES VAT registry and in select countries' company registries. You can find and install the app on Microsoft AppSource, and it's available in free and in priced versions. You can see more about which features are supported either on Microsoft AppSource or in the documentation site. But for this video, let me show you the main features of Market Radar. First, you have to configure Market Radar and just use the search tool in Business Central and search for Market Radar configuration after you've installed the app. The first time you launch Market Radar, it's gonna prompt you for being able to call out to the Market Radar service and just select allow always. You can go into the extension management and set this up beforehand, but if not, the first time you launch it, it'll prompt you to allow the calls. The calls, besides fetching the information about companies, also looks up the license, and if you have a paid license, how many calls you've made to the backend for the different services. Now, here I'm logged in with a free user license, so you can install this for as many users as you like with the free plan. And the free plan gives you access to the EU VAT number check and lookup, so the VIES lookup. There's a built-in VIES lookup in Business Central. If you prefer the way that works, you can of course enable that. I believe the Market Radar version is more intuitive and easier to use, and it adds a couple of additional features. First, you gotta put in your own requester country and VAT number. So I'm just gonna put in my own VAT number here. The default you see here just comes from the company information table. So if you set that up, it'll just get it from there. This is just my demo data. You choose whether to enable this or not, kind of self-explanatory. And you can choose whether you would like, just like for the built-in VIES validation service, to have the Market Radar VIES lookup open whenever you change the VAT number or the country. I'm just going to leave it like this. The option to block customers if they show up inactive in VIES and block vendors if they show up inactive is only for the paid subscription, so I'll go through that in a second. You can choose background updates, whether you want customer and vendor master data to be updated by the service. This is linked to the Market Radar job. So if you schedule the Market Radar job, it's going to create a job queue entry, and you can toggle the settings for that yourself in the job queue and choose how often you want it to run. It could be run every night, for example. And then for the VIES lookup, you choose how often you want the system to go recheck the EU VIES registration. So I've set it to 7 days. So every week for customers and vendors, it'll do a recheck of the VIES status. So now we can go create a new customer, and I can create a new EU customer here, and then go straight into Market Radar and start filling in the information. So let's just create my own company here, put in VAT number and the country, and then I can click update market radar info. Now it's going to call the EU VIES validation service. Now the VIES service, depending on which country you call it for, can be somewhat slow or even unreliable. Here you see we actually got the company information validated. Sometimes the VIES validation service will be overloaded, and in that case market radar will retry up to 5 times. If it hasn't fetched the information after 5 calls, it'll show that the service timed out. Everything is always logged in the market radar log, so you can see what was called and what was fetched. Now I can update the customer, and I have all of the master data from the VIES service put into the customer record automatically. As I said, it's a little different from country to country how the VIES validation service works. Let's try to create a French company. Now I can also start filling in the information right here on the customer record. So put in France for country and the VAT registration number here. And because I set market radar to pop up automatically on VAT number filled in, market radar shows up and I can click update VIES. You saw in this case for France it was much faster, so I will just click update and I get the information transferred into the customer card. You'll notice that market radar sort of normalizes the VAT numbers. You can choose different formats for your VAT registration numbers. If I go back to the Danish company I created before, my own, you'll see I have DK for my VAT registration number. Actually, if you want to do EU VAT VIES reporting, you cannot have the DK country prefix on your VAT numbers. You set that up, of course, in Business Central, countries, regions. So if I go to Denmark and look at the VAT number formats, there's 2 different supported formats for Denmark. Actually, the market radar solution adds a column where you can choose a default format. That's not something that's supported in the standard. So if I pick the format without the country prefix as my default Danish VAT number, now when I use market radar, then when I update the customer back, it'll actually update the VAT registration number to follow the format that I chose as my default format. So market radar will update your VAT numbers to follow whatever format you choose as default. So the VIES validation features that I just showed are all part of the free license for market radar, so anybody can use that. If you do have the paid version of market radar, there's some more features you can enable. So I'm running now as a pro license user. So I'll just go back into the market radar configuration and show some of the new options that's available to me. First of all, the market radar configuration will show me that my effective license is pro now. It also shows me how much I've used up of the available service call. The basic license can pretty much call the same features here, but has a lower limit for how many calls you can do per month. Now the Pro license has the ability to automatically block customers or vendors if they're inactive. So under the EU VAT number check, which is the VIES lookup we just saw, I can actually choose to block a customer for ship, invoice, or all when they no longer have a valid registration in VIES. The same thing for vendors. I can block for payment or for all. I can also, since as you saw, the VIES service is not always fast and reliable, I can choose to turn off the VIES service altogether here, and instead use the company registration lookup. They can coexist. So now, just for the demo, I've turned off VIES, but you can enable both. The company registration lookup is supported currently for 7 different countries in the EU, and the VIES service, of course, for all EU member countries. Once I've enabled this, I can also choose to have customers or vendors blocked if the company registration shows them as either inactive or flagged. The system will flag a customer or a vendor if, for example, they are undergoing bankruptcy. You can also, for the customer, change the payment terms. So if a customer is flagged, you can choose to change the payment terms for that customer. All right. So let's try the same thing. I'll go and create a new customer, and again, I'll just go straight into Market Radar, and let's create my own company again. Now let's say I don't know the VAT number. For the paid subscriptions, you can actually use the Market Radar scan. So I don't need to fill in the VAT number. I just fill in as much as I know of the company name and use scan for company. And here, for instance, it searches the Danish CVR register, and it finds information about what are the most likely customers based on what I just typed in. And here's my company at the top. And once I click OK, it fetches the information that's available for that company. You can see it's flagged as active. So I can just click update customer, and I have all of the information for that customer transferred into the customer record. Now the country registry lookup fetches more information than what you can fetch with VIES. You can see it also shows out here in the fact box the information that was fetched from the company register for this company. To get started or to learn more about Market Radar, go to the product website. There's a complete documentation. If you go to the features overview, you can see which features are supported for which countries, like the EU VIES validation, supported for all EU countries, of course. The more advanced company registration lookup in the country registries. You can see which countries are supported and what source we're using. So like for Sweden, we're using Bolagsverket. For Norway, it's the Brønnøysundregistrene. For Finland, YTJ. In France, it's the Sirene register. And in Belgium, it's the Crossroads Bank for Europe registry, for example. It also shows a few additional features that I didn't show in this walkthrough. If the company has an associated stock ticker symbol, Market Radar will fetch the latest closing price, and if there's more company information associated with the ticker symbol, it can also fetch that. To get started, just go to the Market Radar overview page. There's a direct link to Microsoft AppSource where you can install the project after getting a license, either free, basic, or pro. After doing that, take a look at the setup guide that walks you through assigning licenses and permission sets. Other than that, it's pretty easy. There's no additional setup required. Just choose which of the market rated features you want to enable.